7 impact, hard-hitting, and strong summer fragrances that are basically guaranteed to garner you some compliments this spring and summer. So what do I mean by high impact summer fragrances or high impact warm weather fragrances? Really what I mean is that when you go through and you smell all of these, especially off the opening, but even into the dry down as well, they have a nice punch to them. A lot of times with designer and niche, but also sweet and fresh fragrances, a whole different variety, you can come across fragrances that are kind of dull and maybe don't really punch through and really turn heads like you would maybe want them to. You know, a lot of fragrances you can spray them on and they're smooth and they're calm and they're relaxed right off the beginning, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do like fragrances that are more laid back and easygoing and aren't piercing your nose 24/7, but in some instances that can be to your benefit. That can help you out. If you're one of those people who wants to get attention and get noticed and turn heads from your fragrances, you would want to go with something that has, you know, a lot of impact, that hits hard, that goes strong, and that's what these 7 are about. I will link these all up down below as per usual in the video description, and we're going to go and run through this one. We're going to start off with the one and only niche fragrance in this video. This one is XERJOFF ERBA PURA. And so this is kind of the migration. It used to be XERJOFF and then Suspiro, kind of like the Mancera Montal thing, right? Same brand, all of that stuff, just different bottles, of course. But they migrated everything over now to where the Suspiro fragrances are now in these XERJOFF bottles, and this happens to be one of those. And so as you can see here, it's got a different look to it, this nice soft felt to it. 100 milliliter bottle. You can get these for a really good price on Fragrance Buy. I will link it down below. I dropped that post on my community tab a while back. A lot of you guys are able to pick this one up for an unbeatable price. But I mean, this one has fruity notes. It's got bergamot. It's got a little bit of vanilla in here, so there's a little bit of a sweetness to it. But what I love so much is that it is so strong and punchy right off the top, and it maintains that throughout the entirety of the scent, and also has some of the best longevity that I've gotten from a primarily fruity fragrance. I mean, this stuff is eternal. It will last for so long. It is no joke. It is potent. You will have to scrub this one off to make it go away. If you start getting tired of it and you're hoping it'll wear off, that's not going to happen. This stuff is incredible. And it was the same way when it was in the Suspiro bottling as well. So I think it's probably pretty safe to say that there was no reformulation or no changes, or at least if there was, they didn't tamper with the performance here. This stuff is no joke. Again, a little bit of a vanillic sweetness in here, so for some of you on a hot summer day, this would be one you wouldn't want to gravitate towards. For me, it's going to be more of a summer evening scent, something I would throw on as the sun starts to dip down, going into the night, that sort of thing, right? After all, summer evenings, summer nights, the days get longer throughout the summertime, and so you could kind of apply this one as the sun is starting to dip. And if you're out late that night having the time of your life, this one's going to be there until you wake up the next morning, possibly hungover, and you're still smelling this one, assaulting your nose, and you might want to throw up. But that's all part of the fun, right? Strong stuff, high impact, amazing warm weather scent. Next up, we have Calvin Klein DEFY. So one of the newer releases here. So we've got bergamot, lavender, and vetiver as some of the main notes. Absolutely love it. I really like this one. It's kind of interesting to me because this one is already off to a terrible start online. People say it's very similar, which it is. But then you take a look at something like Ralph's Club, which is also in a similar vein, and that one's highly rated. But I guess because it's a Calvin Klein, people are dunking on this one already. Like seriously, go look at the similarities. This has a little bit of a YSLY, eau de parfum type of thing going on, but then it goes very vetiver centric in the base. I feel like most people don't actually get to the dry down of this one. The dry down is completely different, very vetiver focused, unlike any other blue type of fragrance. Then you take a look at Ralph's Club, similar to the YSLYs, and it kind of stays that way throughout. I like Ralph's Club. I like this one as well, but you see the difference there in the ratings for sure. Opens up with that nice bergamot, smells great, a little bit of a sweetness, kind of that bubblegummy aspect, but the vetiver comes through in the dry down and it smells amazing. It's their take on kind of a, I guess, a bubblegummy but then vetiver fragrance hybrid. You know, very strong vetiver, nice clean, soapy, and fresh vetiver as well, so it's very wearable. Smells great. I really like this one, and I'm excited to see what they come out with next in terms of flankers. You know, this isn't EDT. It's a clear bottle with the coloration to the juice. They're only going to change it from here. They're going to start tinting the bottle. They're going to start messing with the coloration of this one. And hopefully they improve the scent for the better. You know, they make changes. They make it more appealing. I'm excited to see some flankers from this one. I think this line is going to have a lot to offer. And of course, it's in this video for a reason. It's high impact. It hits hard. It hits strong. It smells amazing. It's going to be a huge compliment getter for a lot of you guys this summer. So this next one, we have L'Homme Ideal Cool by GUERLAIN. Kind of niche, but designer price. So to me, I'm just going to kind of place it as whatever you want it to be. I don't want to scare people away and call it niche and say there's too niche in this video, when reality is a lot of times this could be cheaper than some other designers out there. This one's got mint, almond, vetiver, watery notes is some of the main notes. I love this stuff. A big fan. This is going to be the replacement of L'Homme Ideal Cologne, which they did discontinue. That was kind of in the tan bottle. That was going to be kind of the main popular fresh one from the line. There is Sport, but Sport kind of a not really my favorite there. Nothing wrong with it other than I would prefer really all of the other ones over Sport. The Cologne version kind of got discontinued at the peak of its popularity, at the peak of its hype, right? It was getting talked up, spring, summer lists all over the place, and then they kind of dropped the bomb on us like, yo, this is cut off. Like, whatever else is out there in the world is all there's going to be of this one. And so that was a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, including myself. But they released Cool. And after I tested this one, I kind of came to the conclusion that I'm not so sad about Cologne being discontinued anymore. I might like this one more. I love the green, aromatic, and minty approach that this one has, where the Cologne didn't. Different fragrance for sure, but for me, I have to say, smelling that, it takes all my worry away. Cologne, it's in my heart. Love that stuff. Got a couple bottles, but Cool, this one really gets it done. And hey, that bottle's sleek. Let's go over to Bentley for Men Silverlake. Up next, we have violet leaves, musk, amberwood, lemon, you know, all the citrus, that sort of thing. It smells very similar to Acqua di Gio, the original, and also Profondo a little bit, kind of a hybrid of those to some extent. But what I like so much about this one is it's so strong, and that was one of the first things I noticed about this one. When I first sprayed it on, just the projection alone, it was brutal. Like, I was like, holy crap, like I was expecting it to be kind of mediocre, kind of in the middle, but it was really hitting hard. And of course, you know, to follow that, the longevity has been very good consistently for me. I mean, no complaints at all with performance. In fact, it's above average. And over time, the price will continue to fall on this one. Once you can get this one consistently at the same price as Bentley for Men Intense, and Bentley for Men Absolute, I'm talking around $30. This is like an unfair advantage. I mean, $30 for this at some point is mind-blowing, because the performance, the quality, the smell is far above that, in my opinion, and kind of the same with all of the Bentley fragrances. I mean, these are great bang for your buck. High impact, hard hitting, big compliment getter. Up next, we have Polo Blue Gold Blend. So we've got melon, ginger, lemon, and incense as some of the main notes. Of course, it's a Ralph Lauren fragrance because they're using the melon note in here. Or I guess not melon, but it is melon. But oftentimes they use mango as well. They use mango and Polo Double Black, which is a coffee-based fragrance. Kind of weird comparison or weird composition there, but it works really well. Polo Gold Blend. Big fan of this one. You know, very similar to Polo Blue, and you would expect that, right? Look at the bottle, look at the name, but it still has a little bit of a different twist. For me, this one smells a little bit more rich, a little bit more full-bodied, a little bit more, I guess, modernized. Maybe not modernized, but refreshed. Polo Blue, you know, it's a classic. It's going to smell great for years, but they kind of refreshed this DNA. They brought a little bit of a trendiness to it while still maintaining a classy smell. I really like this one. I would prefer this over Polo Blue any day. It's a very nice scent that I would reach for when I want to smell a bit more classy for maybe a more sophisticated day in the summer or evening out or something. It still hits hard. It's got high impact. Smells amazing. Big compliments from this one. Next up, we have Chanel Allure Homme Sport Cologne Sport. Lemon, orange, grapefruit, and musk are some of the main notes. So quite a bit different than the rest of the line. This is going to be kind of their Dior Homme cologne. And in fact, it smells similar to Dior Homme cologne. Typically going to be the most expensive, given that you can't really get this one on discounters. You can get the Dior on discounters, not heavily discounted, but some. This one, good luck. You're basically paying retail. But I do like this one in different circumstances than the Dior, or an alternative like Mercedes-Benz Cologne or Jimmy Choo Man Ice. There's a lot of fragrances out there that share this DNA. Believe it or not, I have all of them, and there are still times where I reach for each one. You know, it's all circumstantial. For me, the Chanel has a little bit more of a depth behind it. The performance seems to be a bit better than most, and it has that Chanel feeling. And for me, when I want a Chanel, I want that Chanel feeling. And I get that with all Chanels. You would hope so, right? You're paying a Chanel premium for it. You want to feel like you're wearing a Chanel. But man, it just has that premium, classy, sexy feel to it that I love. Love this DNA, love this fragrance. I love Chanel's little twist on this one. Very wearable, hits hard with all of the citrus, all of the fruits, all of the musk. Smells absolutely amazing. And this one here happens to be fantastic for really, really hot days. And last up for this video, another Guerlain, so I guess technically another niche, but this one's even more affordable than the other Guerlain. It's HOMME Eau de Toilette. So this is the old bottle. Nowadays, if you were to buy this one, it's going to be in a bottle like this. This is Guerlain Vetiver, but you know, this type of bottle is how it's going to come. This is the old school bottle. How many of you guys miss this bottle style? I don't know. Maybe I'm indifferent, but I really like it. Of course, this is a tiny 30 milliliter. They were a bit taller if you got a 50 or 100, obviously, but I don't know. I kind of like this bottle. I thought it was pretty cool, but you know, can't really complain about this one either. It's got mojito, lime, mint, cedarwood, rum, mojito fragrance. Fresh, fun, summery, but with a little bit of a depth behind it. Maybe an early summer morning. You're starting the day early on the beach, and you know, really kind of hair of the dog type of thing. You got to get over that hump from the day before. And so you're on the beach, you've got a nice drink with you, and you're a little bit chilly outside, right? You know, wind's blowing a little bit maybe. It's just a cooler summer morning. Maybe it's overcast. And this is the type of fragrance you would wear for that. It's got a little bit of that sweetness. But as the day goes on, the sun starts to come out, it starts to warm up. This one's still going to work well. You know, it has a little bit more depth behind it, but it still has a fun mojito in a bottle type of smell. Smells great for summertime. And again, emphasis on the word fun. It's a fun kind of summer fragrance, but with the classiness as well. So this would smell great on vacation, smells great in the summertime if you just don't have a care in the world. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. That is 7 high impact, strong fragrances to get you compliments this year, whether it be spring or summer. These are going to have you covered. Love these fragrances. Big fan of all of these here. A lot of good stuff, you know. Strong performers. They really hit hard. They kind of wake you up. They make you feel refreshed and energized. And they also happen to get a lot of compliments. Who can complain about that? I will provide links to all of these down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.